Hey everyone, Draco Prime 220 here, and I just want to talk about something. Just do a little chit chat here. And this topic is going to be about why I like the Gen 5 dragons of My Little Pony. I do know a lot of people say that the designs were the same. Yeah, they pretty much were. Um, I don't blame the animators or the artists. I actually blame the people that couldn't give them the time to make a little creativity, with their designs. You know, um, there's a reason why I like them. And one dragon in particular, and I'm also going to go into what maybe I would have added if it was me behind the works. This is what I would have done. I just love their dragons, not mainly for their designs, but their two things: their personalities and their different abilities. We only see one, I think it's Tumble, who can actually manipulate wind. Like each dragon has evolved to have a different ability. Lux can manipulate light or something. I really wish we saw that. I like that. I like how that's an evolutionary progression of the dragons and their abilities. They're just not your occasional fire breathers. And the other thing is, I love their personalities. Blaze being the cautious, grumpy second in command, it was a little overbearing for a bit, but I liked the other dragons. My favorite part of that whole interaction with the dragons, two moments, is when they're all introducing each other, saying, "I'm Sunny, Izzy," and Misty it goes, "Eek!" Like Misty does, "Eek!" That was actually kind of cute in that moment. Um, the other thing is, I like when Blaze and Sunny go to talk privately. Izzy is right behind saying, "Hi, I'm Izzy," and she's jumping up and down. But that whole scene right there is we get like a POV shot from the dragons, and they're looking down at her, and she looks like a little puppy dog jumping up and down with these big eyes. I actually thought that was kind of cute. I like that she makes bracelets, and I'm like, geez, how could she make bracelets that big for them? Well, don't question Izzy, I guess. Don't question Izzy and what she's capable of creating. And I like how she asks their names, and Lux seems to be like the first one to warm up to the ponies, to where she's like, "You made this? I'm Lux. I love it." And Izzy goes, "Hoof to heart, Lux." And I just love this little cute moment where Lux is not aware of her own strength, I'm guessing. I'm thinking she's maybe one of the younger dragons, the youngest of the group, because she acts like more playful, more mischievous. And she takes her giant paw, pushes Izzy, and Izzy goes, "Oh!" falls down, and Leaf licks the gift, and he goes, "Yeah, gugh." And Tumble's like, "Leaf, be nice. They bought presents." And then he's like, "But they're all the same. Can they have a different one, Tumble?" And of course, Lux pounces from behind him and takes his little brace and goes, "Hey!" And I like Fountain. Fountain was really cool. I'm guessing she's a water dragon because I do think they said that she could manipulate water to a degree. And what's with her in dungeons? Now there was a story that needed to be told. Like, what is with her in dungeons not liking them? That's making me question, is there a lot more darker stuff behind the scenes than what we're seeing? But I like how she actually sits on the mare. She goes, "What are you doing?" And Pip is trying to get the service for a phone, and the signal, and Fountain's like, "Signal? I don't think we have that here." And what is a phone? And Pip's reaction to the whole, what did you just say to me? I actually love it. I love the little interactions, but I also feel bad for them because their dragon Shimmer is very weak. And then it leads to Jade and Lava, who are imprisoned by Opaline, and I'm like, this is reminding me of How to Train Your Dragon 2. Maybe not to the level of how cruel Drago Bloodfist was, but she was mean. She's taunting them, and Lava even blocks Jade from her and breathes fire, and of course it leads to a song called "I'm a Villain." it's a catchy song, but I have to admit the whole it's almost like she's being hypnotic. And the fact is, when she starts to get a control on them, and they're trying to fight it, and they're cowering down, like they're being forced to bow down. And did Opaline meet up with Drago Bloodfist and figured out how to conquer dragons? Because Drago Bloodfist did similar thing with Hookfang, where Hookfang breathed fire at him. He used his dragon skin cape to block the fire and looked completely unfazed. And of course, Hookfang roared back, and Drago had this giant staff and was spinning around and screaming at him, and then made him submit and put his foot on his snout. I'm like, but by the way, that's him. I'm like, you freaking dirtbag. Anyway, she kind of does a similar thing, but in a more creepy way, where Drago was meant to be very intimidating and to use force to control the dragons. She was very, in a weird, creepy way, like a siren, like a seductive, kind of alluring. No pun intended, Alora. Sorry. But then when she then her eyes are going purple. She says, at one point of the song, she says, "I'm a villain." She's smiling, see her eyes going purple. That creeped me out. I actually kind of had to pull away from the TV, oh God. I don't know why people think Opaline's a bad villain when she really went on a cutie mark stealing rampage. She, enslaved the dragons. She tried killing a baby dragon, and I have to agree with Fallon Cortez. You people gotta really stop hating on Sparky. I don't get all the hate. Once again, he's a baby. What do you expect? He's a baby. Goo goo, gaga, what? When you were babies, you never caused any massive amounts of mischief? I know I did. I don't want to go into anything personal, but seriously, I feel like it's necessary because, what? He's a baby, but he's a dragon. He's a baby dragon. You don't expect him to be a mischief maker, causing a little havoc. Seriously, if you did not feel at least a sliver of an ounce of sympathy for Sparky when Opaline was draining his magic, it was saying, everyone done? We're dropping him. That's a long drop. Really? You're not going to feel sorry but I'm not trying to start anything here, but I bet you if it was Spike, it'd be a whole different story. Wouldn't it? But Spike was like a kid that was able to think things through, and was a bit more mature. And as he grew, he matured a bit more. But yet you're going to hate Sparky because he's a baby. But I'll just say that I'm calling people out. If it was Spike in that predicament, you would have felt sorry for him, wouldn't you have? But, it's because you don't like Sparky. The hate is... I've seen a lot of over-hated characters in my time. I have to say Sparky is up there in the top 10 most over-hated characters. Anyway, seriously, Opaline showed what she was capable of. Yeah, she started out as this cackling evil villain, but let's take into consideration that she was very heavily depowered. How come no one did not notice when Opaline got the fire that she needed? She started to feel more. She became more of a threat because, think about, haven't there been villains where they seemed very stupid or pathetic because they're depowered, and once they get the power they need, they really show what they're capable of? Look at this. We don't even know what she did to the dragons. For all we know, Spike and the dragons that we see are probably the only ones left. How do we not know Opaline caused a 95% extinction event of the dragons? Because besides the dragons we see in Spike, we don't see no others, and Sparky. We don't see any others. And Spike even says that she attacked the dragons to become a fire alicorn. So is Spike saying that she was something different? Like, still an alicorn, but was she some other kind of alicorn before that? And she knows Spike. She calls him by name. So does this mean Spike and her butted heads or something? Or did he team up with Twilight briefly to battle Opaline? And what happened to Ember? What happened to Smolder? Like, we don't even know what happened to them. And my personal idea is that when Opaline came, started her crap, Ember was still in charge. What if she died? Because we know what Sparky looked like when he was getting his magic taken away from him. He was turning gray. He looked like he was barely clinging to life, and even after the fact that he got his color back, he was still out of it. It wasn't until he was temporarily sent to the Dragonlands that he got got his pep back. So, did Smolder and Ember die? Like, did Opaline cause a 95% extinction of the dragon population? We don't know. And what is with Fountain having a fear of dungeons? Maybe I don't know. I felt sorry for the dragons because, and on top of that, I felt sorry for Spike. Because think about it. He was put into a magical hibernation. Only now is he starting to wake up. I felt sorry for him. Did he get to say, and he had to leave his friends because of Opaline. And people are saying that Opaline's not is a terrible villain. For goodness sake. For his safety and what dragons are left. He had to go into a state of magical hibernation and had to leave his pony family. That's not evil? Seriously, when a villain can do that, 1, put you in a position of leadership. 2, have to make you be sent away. 3, put into a state of magical hibernation. And 4, wait a minute, I lost track there. And not seeing your friends again. He even says, if I could go back and be with my pony family, I would. Like, that is top tier villainy. Like, a villain that is capable to make a person, or in this case a dragon, go through that much. Did he even get to say goodbye to his friends? You know, I'm guessing he did, but I don't know. Maybe there wasn't time to say goodbye. There is always that case. Like, seriously. I like Spike's voice. I like that he still has that personality, that cheerful personality. And he steps up as a leader. And I like that. I like his design because it does remind me of that one form he takes in Secret of My Excess. When he pops out of Sugar Cube Corner. And he even says, I'm leader of the dragons. And I remember my pony friends. I never want to forget them. And do you know how good it must have felt for him to return to equestrian soil? Like, we don't even know how long he's been sleeping. I feel bad for the guy. If I was asleep for, I don't know how long, 20 years, and everyone I knew and cared for was gone, and I was on some separate place, far away from my friends and family, and by the time I wake up, they're all gone, and the first time I step foot on my original home soil that I remember, it would be a very overwhelming feeling. I just feel sorry for the dragons because we don't even know, like, there could be some darker stuff going on behind the scenes with what happened to them. We don't even know what happened to their species. But we'll never know now, will we? I just like how Spike was portrayed. I like his voice. I do like his character design. Do I think the other dragons could have used some different designs? Yeah. Give a different set of horns or different tail designs or something like that. That could have maybe changed things up a little bit. But, yeah. I like them, one, for their personality, and one, I like Spike because he's now a leader. And what really, and still, I'm going to say this one more time. What really irks me is that now that we know Twilight Sparkle is alive, is that we were denied a reunion. It could have been a full-on episode where Twilight meets the new ponies and is very proud of them, and then she meets Spike. Can you imagine G4 fans, My Little Pony fans in general, who would have probably have teared up if they did it right? If Twilight and Spike saw each other since they haven't seen each other for so long, I'll guarantee that a good portion of us would be crying. Because that's kind of realistic. Sometimes close friends or family do part ways and don't see each other for years. And when you see each other again, it brings out all those good and positive feelings. And you're like, I haven't seen you in so long. You've grown up. I've missed you. You know, that sort of thing. We were denied a reunion episode. And I'm very curious because scripts have been being revealed. And I'm wondering if there's going to be any scripts where Twilight shows up and we have a script where Twilight says, meets the ponies and stuff. I'm going to say this. I'm sorry if I'm about to use foul language. I apologize. But if there is a script that is shown that has Spike showing up and reuniting with Twilight, I'm just going to say it right now. Fuck you, Hasbro. And fuck the CEO of Hasbro for denying us that. Owl House was able to wrap up their show. They found out, yeah, we're getting canned. Let's wrap things up. You couldn't do that for Gen 5? Give a proper wrap-up to everything? Just cancel in the middle of production. Smart. No, few fries short of a Happy Meal. That's what you all are. Hasbro. I'm just saying it once again. If there's a script that's revealed that Twilight and Spike reunite, and since we were denied that, fuck you, Hasbro. Like, I'm just gonna say this. Gen 5 is the most overly hated generation I've ever seen. And apparently people forget that there were worse generations than this. Am I saying this is another Friendship is Magic? No. It's very hard to get lightning in a bottle twice. But the hate was unnecessary, especially with certain things that happened where people booed, if you know what I mean. Once again, to those people, grow the hell up. Have some respect and have some decency, or weren't you taught that? I was. Sorry, that little tangent, I'm sorry. That still bothers me sometimes. Sometimes when I go on the internet and I, look up about Gen 5 or something just out of curiosity. Yeah. I'll be really upset if there's a script revealed that Spike and Twilight reunite. I'm going to be really ticked off. Don't be too surprised if I make a rant video at that point, because if that happens, if Doc Anubis, he's a good guy. He's really good. He's actually the one who's been giving us these scripts. And apparently there's one, I'm guessing, for episode 41, where it's about Allura and Altero, I guess, a reunion. Like, it takes place, I guess, after... Wait a minute. Episode 41. Wasn't The Greatest Gift Ever episode 39 or 40? Or 38? I don't know, I can't remember. That's shortly after Twilight crash landed. If this script reading ends with Twilight popping up, ooh, yeah. Yeah. I'm actually kind of curious to hear that script reading. Um, if you haven't heard of Doc Anubis and you're kind of curious, I'll get his link. Will be in the description box below. His two channels. He has this Doc Anubis original and alternate. I'll have them both in the description box. Now, what I think, now, to get off this tangent, what I think they could have added to maybe up the stakes and up the emotion is, since Opaline can control the dragons, she can control them. She can make them do what she wants them to do. And at one point, she does have Spike kind of under her influence. She knows Sunny's going to show up. She probably knew. So you could have had a very emotional moment where Sunny's flying towards her castle and Opaline says, Spike, go greet our guest. And Spike, of course, gets up and lumbers off. Now, here's the thing. I don't think Sunny would go full-on fight mode. I think she'd be trying to talk him down, snap him out of it. But I could see her using her shield magic to deflect his fire to keep it from hitting her. But here's the thing, what could have made it very emotional. At one point, Spike just lets out a powerful blast of fire. Sunny is shielding herself with the magic and says, Spike, snap out of it. Don't do this. And maybe we get like a blurry POV shot of Spike and his vision slightly clears a bit, enough where we can see. And it's actually Twilight that he sees. And Twilight says, you're my friend, Spike. Don't do this. And he briefly snaps out and goes, and he actually starts to tear up and says, Twilight? They could have done that. That could have made it more emotional to up the emotion and the stakes, showing that Opaline doesn't value anything. She just sees the dragons as tools to be used, like Misty. Yeah, I would have added at least that, and I don't think of anything else, but I just like how the dragons were done, because in G4, the dragons, I get, they were in their beginnings of learning about friendship. They didn't really want it, especially Garble. I'm going to be honest, Garble was not one of my favorites. I'm glad he kind of redeemed himself, I guess, in the end, but I don't really know. But, they all started off as greedy, mean jerks, for the most part. But here, yeah, they learned friendship over time. For goodness sake, there's like actually a dragon in the last problem where he's handing a flower to a pony. That was sweet, by the way. But I do like the fact that the dragons are more open up to friendship, more friendlier. It seems that the lessons of friendship have been passed down from generation to generation of dragons. And it is a shame that we never saw Spike again out of his Make Your Mark appearance. And it's a shame that we never saw Lux, Fountain, or Leaf. Only ones we saw was Lava, Blaze, and Tumble. It's a shame that we never got to see the others again. I think they were nice additions to the My Little Pony franchise. Do I think they could have maybe changed the designs a little bit to make them a little different? Like, maybe give them stripes or something. Like, for example, with Lux, you could have still kept her yellow, but maybe gave her, like, Chinese dragon horns, Oriental dragon horns, and maybe given her black stripes or something. I don't know. Fountain, you can give her, like, curly horns and made, like, a skin pattern that looked like waves or something. I'm just guessing. I'm just throwing out what they could have done. On a side note, there is a, on X, Twitter, there is a, I guess, someone called My Little Pony Gen 5 Hoof to Heart, they are in the plans of making Gen 5 audio dramas. I'm really hoping we find out something about that this year. And also, there's a guy named, a YouTuber who's actually kind of nice. His name is Drees. I hope I'm saying that right. Drees. Ay, ay, ay. All I know is that his OC is an alicorn with a white snout. He's also working on a Gen 5 project that he's trying to get up and running. I would go support them. One's on Twitter, one's on YouTube. Well, the only thing I could say is let's hope we get some more scripts and find out what was going to happen. I personally think Gen 5 deserved a chance to... It was so close to standing on its four hooves. It had such potential. Am I saying it could have been another Friendship is Magic? No. What I'm saying is, is it the best generation? No. But is it decent? In my eyes, yes. It's decent. Could have been at least... Have you ever watched My Little Pony Make Your Mark? And someone could have been like, yeah, it had a bumpy beginning, but as it progressed, it got better. It was a decent generation. But we'll never know. Now we gotta look towards Generation 6. And speaking of which, there is a YouTuber named Toby MLP. I'm subscribed to him. He made a video about saying, is MLP over? And I'm like, but yet I watch his video and I'm thinking, why call it that if you're talking about something entirely different? That's kind of misleading, don't you think? He says that he has been talking to some reliable sources. I don't know how legit he is. I don't know if he's being honest or what. But he says he's been talking to reliable sources, and he says that probably by the middle of this year, we're going to get an announcement for Generation 6. Do I believe this? 50-50. Rumors and people with reliable sources, I'm sketchy on that, because it could go either way. It could be 100% true or 100% BS, if you know what I mean. I'm just going to say this, and if Toby MLP sees this video, I'm not trying to start anything with him. I'm just saying to be careful, because if he's lying and making stuff up about reliable sources, and he's going to have a lot of ticked off people after him. Like, that's the one thing I kind of feel sad for leakers or people who say they have reliable sources, whether they're legit or not, because one... If you're saying something and spreading false information, it could really turn bad. It could escalate into something it doesn't have to be. But if you're legit, you got to worry about the company breathing down your neck like a ravenous wolf. So, yeah. I don't know how legit he is or his reliable sources. But let's have hope that he is right, that he's telling the truth. And I just hope for his sake he's not lying, because like I said, if he's lying and making this stuff up just to get views, I do see some people getting mad at him. So if he ever sees this video, if you're making stuff up, since you said that we're going to get some in the middle of the year, I would make a video saying, I'm sorry, you were lying, you were making things, you were not... right about this information, because I would really hated to see Toby MLP get chased or harassed by people. He seems like a good guy, and if he is, since he looks like a good guy, I really don't want to see him getting harassed or yelled at or chased at by people who, when they say, you said this was going to happen and never did, just take his information with a grain of salt. But yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight. I really just, it's just sad. If Owl House could gotten an ending, why couldn't Gen 5? Would have been sad to see it end so soon. Yeah, it had a lot of potential. We were denied a lot. And my only hope is with Gen 6, I just hope for Hasbro's sake, if they want to make the money, don't give up on this one, all because it doesn't go the way you want it to go. Like, that's all I'm asking for. Gen 5 is being kept alive by the fans. Gen 6, I really don't care at this point if it's good, bad, or in between. I just miss seeing pony content because I'll be honest, the My Little Pony franchise has helped me out in a lot of tough spots. It has. It's helped me in a lot of my darkest moments. It always managed to put a smile on my face, make me laugh. And I really think we need that now. We need that laughter. We need that happiness. I think we all need it. So let's hope we hear something about Gen 6 soon. Yes, it's still the beginning of the year. We're just the second month in, but let's hope something happens soon. And once again, let's hope a Toy Fair they reveal maybe something, anything, picture, art, toys, whatever. But until then, I am Draco Prime 220, signing off. See you then.